Hello, Core 3 Beauties. This is Marcos, and this is our week 9 going into week 6 recap briefing video. And I just want to do a quick video to get everybody up to speed and remind you about where you should be with your final project and what's going on in the coming weeks. So let's talk quickly about the week 10 workflow. First, a reminder that we've got a very special cross topics video this week, as it's a video on branding, which is courtesy and brought to you by myself. So make sure you watch that and make sure you're not pushing that faster speed button. And if you are, that you're heading to the store and getting a chocolate bar from me for next class. I discourage you from listening to it at high speeds. Please keep my dignity. But if you must, then go ahead and bring me a chocolate bar. But most importantly, watch the video for the content, as there's lots of great information there, not just about the work I've done in the past and some of my experiences, but also on branding, which is what we're doing in terms of the phase that we're in with this final project that we're doing, creating our unique brands that advocate for the social cause that you chose. So check that out. And then you'll be working primarily this week, if not exclusively, on your brand identity logo concepts. So at this point in the journey of part 3 independent project, we should be well into establishing your cause, having a research and foundational understanding about the issues around your cause and some of the partners who are working towards the same cause, and also getting inspiration on projects that have similar or new techniques and applications that you want to try for how you communicate your messaging to your audience. And you should have an understanding of your audience. And maybe we talked about in class the idea of how it could be advantageous to either focus closer on your audience or to zoom back out and include more people. So consider how customizing your audience could also make for a stronger concept and a stronger strategy for how to make positive change towards what you want. So work on that. I'll show you some more details on that in a second here. But for next week's class structure, we'll have everyone join us again in class on Tuesday. And the idea will be to have a nice, long, efficient review session for everyone to present their brand identity logo concepts. And that just means 10 minutes or less of time for each person, so that we can get through it and have everybody up to speed, so that we have Thursday available for your own independent work, and for mostly to utilize the Halloween holiday as a chance to get some a little bit of a change in the routine, and to enjoy yourself and to be creative by going out there and celebrating with everybody else. And so it's a day of Halloween shenanigans. And of course, I encourage you to have fun, but to be moderate and not go over the top with anything, and really enjoy time with your friends, and in this positive spirit that the city will be having as everyone's out having fun. But also there's homework, so make sure that you get yourself a cute selfie or a picture of your friends or some kind of Halloween inspirational fun, so that you can send it to me by email, and we can view it in a little grid for our next class following week. So have fun and make sure you use that time to clear your head, and then to restart and then get back to work as soon as that's done, whether it's later that night or probably Friday morning. But to just set aside a little bit of time for that, and that will be during our class time. So I want us to, in many ways, utilize our class time in the best way possible. And in this case, that's what the best way is. All right. So, and then in this next phase that you're working towards, it's the logo design, the part 3 logo design phase. So once you've created your brand strategy, you've mapped out your brand concept, you looked at your competitors or partners, you looked at your target audience, you then establish some basic core brand values that you want to provide as a North Star towards how you want to be addressing your issues and goals of what you want to be doing. Then you've come up with a name, and you're now focusing on what that name is. And from there is about working now on your brand visual identity. Now, if you're behind in any of that stuff, you don't know your name yet, you're still focusing on what some of these attributes of your brand is going to be, and you need a check-in with me, please do that. Please reach out and either send me an email and I'll respond by typing back. Or if you need, I'm open for any time. Well, not anytime, anytime I'm available, which I'm mostly available all weekend for most of the week, and not so much when Monday starts. So get it in over the weekend to meet with anybody really quickly to talk. So get to work on creating your brand identity through some logo concepts. So to design your brand identity, we'll start by creating logo concepts to consider as the main messaging tool. So I want you to create 2 to 3 concepts for your logo based on your strategy. Create a text page and a mood board that defines your concept, both visually and in words, and creates a view of the look and feel of your logo. Show design techniques, color palettes, etc., that inspire your direction. For each 2 to 3 concepts, you can do a couple of variations on that if you want, like sub ideas. Let me show you what I mean. So this is an example from the initial case study we looked at from a former student. And here you see one concept, and the concept is defined by an overarching theme of trustworthy and intimate, with some bullet points that come from the brand values, that address the brand values, but maybe focus in or bring in more of an emphasis on some things and less than an emphasis on other things. And that's how your variations could strategically be different in your concepts. You can say, I want to make one that's more approachable, and this is that idea, or I want to make one that focuses more on my core theme, so I'm going to turn up the volume on that and try to communicate that more in my logo, or I want to create one that is more dynamic and more like interested in seeking action. So you can create variations to that. And with those bullet points, I want you to also utilize the idea of getting inspiration through research and looking at sites that showcase well-curated designs, and look through those sites like Design Inspiration and others that you've for sure been using already in your other projects, and create little mood boards that showcase what inspires your idea, and then to execute those. And so these are 2 examples on the bottom row of the same concept. And then we go on to a second one, which takes a different approach, being approachable, and does the same technique of outlining some values in that concept, some inspiration, and then 2 execution modes. There's a third one as well that's calming and soothing on the bottom. And this thumbnail version of the presentation showcases a full presentation of 3 concepts with 2 variations on each concept each. So it doesn't have to be literally this. This is a good, strong amount of variations. It could be more micro, like just slight changes, or it could be much more different than this. This is pretty similar overall. It's not that radically different, so you can have much more radically different directions if you want. That's not a problem at all. And then let's look at a couple of other, and these are the same ones we looked at in class. I'm just redoing them in case anybody missed it, or in case you happen to tragically nod off or lose focus. So this is another example of creating a deck like this, where you showcase the target audience, the brand strategy and personality. You then showcase the name and the tagline if you have one. And we haven't really talked about this, but you might want to be thinking about a tagline, because a tagline can really help in terms of giving more leeway to your name. And if your name is a little more abstract, like this one is, rely and rally brought together, doesn't really necessarily say what it is, but with a tagline like your protest partner, 3 short but very specific words, you can suddenly open the doors to what this is. So consider that as another strategy for how you're creating your brand identity, and then create variations on what that can be. And in this case, there are more variation in the look and feel. And so and then if you are so ambitious, you can show some motion graphics, which is not working on my setup right now. But anyway, that's the idea behind this. Now you'll notice here that we don't have quite the mood boards that I talked about initially. So that does sort of trigger the A-making machine into wondering if this is going in the right direction. So try not to ignore the direction I'm asking for. It doesn't have to be religiously followed, but do note that that is something that I want to make sure you guys are working towards to like do what I ask for, and then once that's done, then push it aside and do your thing if needed. But first, you always give the person you're working with or working for what they requested, and then if you want to change it up and go further, then once that's fulfilled, you go in and do that portion of it. And then here's a second one that has a similar structure that utilizes the pages you've already developed. And in class, we can go through this quicker as we're doing this, but then does the mood boards and, mood board to refine mood board, like you might be evolving now in terms of what you're thinking, showcasing your strategy, and then beginning to develop the brand elements like typography and color. And then here in this case, it's like all the logos on one page with one that's kind of pulled out as a favorite. And it's not wrong to do it this way, but again, I'm not a big fan of everything on one page. I can't deal with that. I need like things one at a time. And also the inspiration and concepts written out would be better in this case. All right, so let's look at a third one. And this is the third of the case studies we looked at in the beginning of this project. And again, it's about really making sure that you're building this really well-designed and well-prepared presentation that's going to continue to be used throughout the project and will become basically your final, as you're making your final presentation, even as you're on the third phase of like 7 phases, but you continue to build on it. So bringing in the strategy, bringing in some identity elements, looking in at the idea of the concept overview, and doing that both in words and in inspiration, and looking at how you're going to plan to use analog and digital and potentially spatial applications, and then looking at the naming concepts and initial design. And then this is the time where this student decided, like, after doing their first phase and doing it quite extensively, and even doing it successfully, there's nothing wrong with any of this. She felt strategically it didn't work with what she was doing, and she wanted to create something like less political in spirit and more about discovery and inspiration and going on a journey to find out what your philosophy is about, which was very smart, changing the name and then connecting her concept with this metaphor of a hot air balloon and the kind of free-spirited adventure and journey that represents, and then utilizing that as part of her inspiration towards her graphic identity, creating a style that then could also be utilized with just the letters of the name, abstracting it, or making it more clear in the same typographic style, or bringing back the balloon / question mark, which kind of is very smart because it's about questioning, thinking about who you are, and just refining it further with color, and also thinking about ways that your logo could be unpacked and utilized as tools, whether it's just a word mark, or whether it's a visual element, or whether it's the two together. So think about that. And then also in terms of the color and how the color could be used or not used. And then, of course, as everyone's been doing, continue to bring spectacular thank you pages to the end of your presentations. All right, so let's go back. And then just a reminder on the bigger picture, we are crossing through our process from our social cause, our individual needs, creating our concept and our brand strategy and our name and now our logo. And we're going to be heading towards brand standards and touch points following this next week. And then down the downhill arch towards human flourishing, where we will create our 2 main pieces, which will be the showcase pieces of this project. And again, remember to look above and see that beauty is raining down on us, and that is our North Star and our priority to try to look through the world in relationship to reality and in partnership with creating things in good, true, and beautiful ways. All right, so I put this assignment on Canvas, and there's a link to our newest and latest Google Drive, and it's up there highlighted. So have that ready by Tuesday before class starts. And then just one more reminder to watch that cross topics video and pay attention and make sure that you get as much as you can out of it. And of course, we could discuss this at any moment because I know the content of this one for sure. But mostly it's just about making sure you watch it. And then being sure that you are focused on getting your work done and then everything else you're doing too, of course, like keep your life balanced, make sure you're getting rest, make sure you're enjoying your friends and your day and stay and having good nutrition and staying hydrated, and overall just living life in a good solid way that will inspire you to do your best work and to take care of yourself. I know many of us have been like going in and out of getting sick, and of course that just comes with the territory, but taking care of yourself can help avoid that and to also avoid stress as much as possible because that's also hurtful in terms of your health. So if you're struggling with any of that, remember the communication between us is the key. And just to let me know if you're having a hard time and keeping up. And we've still got many weeks to go, so we can definitely be flexible. I do encourage everyone to be as diligent and work as hard as possible and utilize as much of your time as you can and not wait till the last minute. But if life is crashing down and the street fight of life is at high levels right now, just let me know and we can work it out and make things work. All right, that's it for today. I will see you guys on Tuesday with your logo concepts. Have a great weekend. See you then.